What might have been one of the most anticipated games of this year just came out recently, and it has done so poorly that the studio behind the game had to shut down 4 days after the game launched. What the hell happened? The Day Before is a video game produced by Fantastic, the makers of probably no game that you've ever heard of before. The game began building up notoriety as far back as 2021, advertising itself as an open world MMO with like zombie survival elements in it. News of this upcoming game became so popular that it quickly became the most wishlisted game on Steam. For many reasons, this game became somewhat of a meme, developing a community around it of people who debated whether the game even actually was in development or whatever come to exist. Lots of stories started popping up. People were calling it a scam. Some people were theorizing that it was like a tax write-off type thing. It was being used for money laundering. All kinds of different conspiracy theories came up around this game, and where the hell was this game? When was this game ever even going to come out? Well, like I already mentioned, the game did come out and has been nothing but a massive disappointment. So first of all, it's not an open world game. It's an extraction shooter, much like Escape from Tarkov, where like you're in there with a bunch of other people and you fight each other and only one person gets out alive. There's an extraction, you got to get there and you got to fight all the other people to get out. So that, wouldn't really classify to me as an open world game, with that best example I can think of being like Grand Theft Auto, where you just run around and do whatever you want and just do your own thing. There's like a competitive aspect to this game that it was not advertised to have. So whether or not you like that aspect of it or not, the people that were just excited to run around and shoot zombies with their friends and not have to worry about anything, yeah, they're pretty disappointed. IGN, which is a company that is notorious for giving games like all good reviews. Like the lowest review you'll normally see on an IGN review is like 3 stars. They try to stay pretty neutral. They try to, they play to the bigger players in the game. They're your typical, sold out, in my opinion, allegedly sold out video game review company, I guess you could call them. And even they gave this game 1 star, which is unheard of. That's really bad. And they wrote an article about the game that I'm just going to go over real quick with you guys. So this is actually breaking news. This is not the article that I was originally going to go over with you guys, but it is the most recent article. So going into this, we already knew that the studio was going to close down, that the game was doing terribly, was getting really bad reviews. But now it's gotten even worse. The Day Before becomes unavailable for purchase as studio's social accounts and homepage vanish. So they originally announced like that on their socials that the company was going out of business, and that was just today, I think. And now the accounts are going down. The game is becoming unavailable for purchase, and the homepage of the website for the studio is gone. So this is getting pretty fucking juicy. Earlier this week, The Day Before launched its early access launch to near universal negative reviews, quickly landing itself a spot among Steam's 10 worst reviewed games list. Imagine going from the most wishlisted game to one of the worst reviewed games on Steam. Like, what an opportunity that has been completely just not taken advantage of here. Just completely besmirched. Is that a word? I'm using it. That's a word now. According to the game Steam page, The Day Before is no longer available for purchase, marking the end of its short-lived 4 days in early access. It only lasted 4 days. Oh my god. If you need any more indication The Day Before is a scam, the CEO of Fantastic has nuked himself from Twitter. The CEO went into hiding. This game is so disappointing, is so bad, that the CEO of the company has gone into hiding, dude. It's not even just the company, it's the people involved. Anybody with their name on this game is just they're going and climbing under rocks. Okay, they're going undercover, brother. They're hiding. Salander noted that the website closure leaves players who were promised updates to the game and paid $39 without a way to contact the studio at all. The game is still facing bugs and severe issues, along with complaints of false promises. Players were quick to notice that the game is not an open world MMO like we talked about, despite its advertising. Fantastic's departure from Steam and social media is just the latest development in a saga that's been unfolding since long before the game's controversy-filled early access launch. Before its release, players grew skeptical after delays, even after the studio promised no more delays, a trademark dispute, and the studio's open use of unpaid workers. So this is even deeper than I thought. I've only been keeping a brief eye on this from like the corner of my eye. I was like barely aware of this because honestly, it's a video game that was being hyped up and people were planning on it being not so great. It happens all the time. That happened with Cyberpunk. Every game that's come out recently, I think, is like had a portion of its audience that were so hyped up for it that there was no way you were ever going to meet their expectations. But for it to be so bad that these studios shut down, that is a new level. Like, that's how you know that it's not just a bunch of sweaty freaking neckbeards crying in their mom's basement. Something is going on here, okay? God, you know, I've been complaining about practices in the gaming industry since I was just a wee lad. I remember all the way back in like middle school when I got my first big boy game console, the Xbox 360, when the pre-orders started becoming popular. I remember talking with my friends and being like, why are you giving a game company the money for a game that is not even out yet? How could you possibly know if it's going to be good or not? I think that's where a lot of like the debates online come from. You get these people who just get like all caught up in the marketing of these games, and they will throw 60, 70, sometimes even $100 down to pre-order a game. The game comes out and it's shit, and they can't let themselves be wrong or embarrassed or whatever the hell it is. So they go out to bat for these companies, and they defend these companies that are launching games that just aren't even done. It takes like a year after launch for half of these games to even be playable. And I'm just so happy that in this particular circumstance, we're not seeing that happen. Everyone is pretty much, from what I'm able to see from looking into this for the video, universally just shitting on this company, and rightfully so. They promoted and pushed a game that seemingly, from what it looks like, allegedly did not exist, and then they were forced to create a product that could not possibly live up to the hype that they had created for the game. So, I don't know. I hope that as consumers, gamers can start holding these companies more liable for when they fuck up. And, you know, if we keep doing that and we keep seeing these types of changes in consumer reactions to these big industry standards, maybe we can make video games great again, because goddamn, has it been rough to be a gamer recently, man. It just feels like every game that comes out is like half-baked, soulless. It's just not even fun. You play it for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then you go to work and you forget about it. It's just depressing. It's depressing to be a gamer. Am I right, guys? Drop a comment about the most depressed you've ever been by being let down by a game. Let me know in the comments. So no, that's it. I just was so baffled by the idea that like one game was just so terrible that it tanked an entire game studio. And the studio's been around since like 2015, so it's been around for like almost a decade, I'm pretty sure, when I looked into it. But regardless, it was a whole big studio that had a bunch of hype around a game, and they just could not stick the landing. It's interesting. I found it interesting. So, you know, if you like the video, like the video. If you dislike the video, dislike the video. Like I said, leave a comment. Let me know what is the biggest letdown you can remember of a game coming out and just not living up to the hype. And also, you know, if you're new, feel free to subscribe and check out the Discord. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy.